presenter. To my distinguished group of colleagues, I want to say it's an honor for me to join all of you once again on this important human rights issue. I personally believe the reason MEK is still listed as a terrorist organization is that our policy in the past has been one of appeasement. Please, we know you're our enemy. We know you're contrary to everything we stand for. But if you'll just make a few less IEDs, kill a few less American soldiers, we'll list your main opponent, the MEK, as a terrorist organization. But here's the problem with that. They're not stopping. They're not honoring their agreement. And they're still out there manufacturing IEDs right as we speak to ship and export throughout the Middle East to kill Americans. MEK is the biggest threat to the Iranian mullahs. If the Iranian mullahs are manufacturing at their orders and through their exporting systematic destabilization, systematic support for sponsor of terrorism, systematic fundamentalism, and the weapons of that war, they're exporting IEDs. It seems to me we want to be on the side of the people who want to stop them. These IEDs which are manufactured and exported by Iran. But we also want to support something different. Because, you know, you hear a lot about the Arab Spring, and people say, well, if we oppose the current dictatorships, who's going to take their place? Is it going to be a fundamentalist regime? You know, because we've got these secular dictators who are oppressing their people, but the alternative is we may get fundamentalist dictators who are oppressing their people. We've got both in Iran. So it really isn't an alternative, frankly, because we've already got the worst of the worst of the worst in Iran. I mean, we can't get worse. So what's our option? Actually, we've got a really good option. It's an organization that is well organized, politically democratic, has an ability to step in. And you all know the worry that once we topple, quote, these dictatorships, who's going to step in? How's the country going to be run? Is it going to be based upon a fundamental system of democracy? We already had that promised by the PMOI. I just want to conclude with this, and that is, we all know that the galvanizing force, ultimately, in the regime change in Iran is going to be the people on the front line. And I want to thank all of you for being there on the front line, for your family members who are on the real front line. And those are the people in Camp Ashraf. Because the fight for a new Iran is being waged through the people of Camp Ashraf. They're the ones who are bringing international attention to the struggle for freedom in Iran. So we must never forget the people of Camp Ashraf. Promised protection by the United States through international law, that we not break that promise with them. And let me say to you, when the Iraqi government thinks that they can attack Camp Ashraf with impunity, when they are in power today as a direct result of the United States military and the United States government and the United States taxpayer, any lack of connection between the fundamentalists who are in charge in Iran and what's going on in Syria today, or anywhere else in the Middle East, is missing the most important linkage to the ultimate success of the Arab Spring, which will be cutting off the supplier of fundamentalism in the Middle East, cutting off the supplier of terrorism in the Middle East, cutting off the money flow to all those who are oppressing people in the Middle East, and that's the Iranian government. Let's replace the Iranian government, and then you'll give Arab Spring a chance to bloom.